Into the game. In the bottom left, a very deadly Zerg and a GSL champion and MLG finalist, DRG. Take it all in, guys. It's DRG. In the upper right, in the blue, we have very solid Protoss, one of the best Protosses in the world. They call him the Obama Toss, MC. There he is.
MC off to a great start in this tournament. You know, he's someone that people aren't talking about as much.
Yeah.
A lot of people are throwing around DRG, you know, MKP, Parting. There's some Huck being thrown around because he's so good at these events. But MC, man, this guy he crushes tournaments like this, and he wasn't even expected here. It was supposed to be Nanoa's spot, but he chose not to be able to come. And so MC is kind of like a almost last moment replacement here. But still, this guy definitely is someone who could take down the tournament.
Okay, we got the probe now checking inside the main. And this is probably going to be a fairly long game. It can be a little bit tricky for the Zerg to get that fourth base up out there. But yeah. We'll see.
Well, MC gonna try to get in that Nexus first if possible. Just scouting out the timings, and you know, MC is a player who has really, really refined build orders and great game sense, which makes him just so difficult to actually fight against. Now, I want to see, because last game he did the 4-gate pressure with +1, which is a very strong opening, very nice opening. But he did not follow it up with the 2-base timing, which is something he's very well known for. In fact, in all matchups, he's so good at 2-base timings, but at the same time, yes, he's very good at the long game PvZ as well. Now, I'm wondering if we aren't going to see that here. This is another map with some interesting terrain where a 2-base timing against the Zerg's 3rd base can be quite a strong choice. And MC, I don't know if I see him trying to take a really quick 3rd himself. That would spread him out a little bit thin against DRG's style once again, but as we saw last game, he is able to cope with it.
Yeah, he is definitely willing to mix it up. So we got a nice little wall in here. I'm so happy to be in New York City, Artosis.
Yes.
I love doing these arenas. They're so cool.
Oh, of course. It's so much fun. So much content for everyone out there. I hope everyone is enjoying it a lot, just as I am. You know what I really love is that I mean, we already know a lot about these players because these are some of the absolute best players in the world. We get to see them a lot, but we're going to get to know them so much better this weekend as we watch them play infinity games against each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the 3rd base, by the way, being taken by DRG. No shocker there. He's always, he tends to expand it about this pattern, about this rhythm. And do we have the tech? No, we have the cybernetic score coming here. After the cybernetic score completes, that's generally when we start to find out what the player actually intends to do in the game.
Yes,
you know, he's going to get a Stargate, he's going to get a Twilight Council.
Now, MC generally likes to make, you know, a Zealot and a Stalker, sometimes 2 Zealots and a Stalker to go out and push a player like DRG. And of course, you know, it's a good idea. It forces some Zerglings, gets you some scouting. And it's something that really is useful, and he's that type of player that gets a lot of information via pressure. So expect to see that coming up. And of course, he knows that DRG is going to go for 3-base because that's what DRG does. He gets his gas really, really late in this matchup. And because of that, we could see a Stargate opening. I like this map a lot for Stargate.
Oh, and there you go. Stargate opening.
There you go. Well, the reason why this map is really nice for Stargate is the distance between the natural, the main, and the 3rd. For Queens to actually walk that distance, look at this. That is a long distance for Queens. They're so slow off creep. Of course, you can push the creep down there and you're going to want to, but still, that's a long distance, and then you even have to snake around into the main base if the Void Rays happen to go up there. So
yeah, that's really smart analysis, Artosis. The way the map is shaped and the spacing of the expansions means, yeah, definitely, you're going to be able to abuse a Zerg with air, with the air mobility.
Yep. Well, we'll see how many Void Rays he wants to make. It's always very interesting to see the number that people want. It's either 1 in Phoenixes, or sometimes we do see 2 or 3 Void Rays. it's pretty rare we'll see more than that. At that point, it becomes like a very technical, complicated build. But we do see the couple of Zealots starting to harass a little bit, just seeing what they can see. All right, there's the Queen, here's a bunch of Lings, and the Zealots have done a good job to force that many Lings out of DRG this early. He definitely didn't want to make those yet.
And unfortunately, not able to get some of those extra Zerglings. There was a nice surround there by DRG. He's turning around with the Zealot. The Void Ray now moving forward. And, yeah, laying down the gateways. You know, it's interesting what a Void Ray can do just in your army during a battle. The amount of extra kills you can end up getting with just that.
Oh, definitely. A fully charged Void Ray is one of the scariest things that you can see in the Protoss army. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that MC is not showing his Stargate tech. He's building a Void. He's already built his Void Ray, and he's building Phoenixes and just keeping them in his main base.
Yeah.
And DRG expects to see the Void Ray at a certain moment, and to just wait for the 2 Phoenixes, sometimes that can get out of control for our Zerg player. If you don't have your spores ready, if you don't have the additional queens already, you can start attacking them and lifting them very quickly and dealing a lot of damage. But looks like he's not going to be able to get too much done. DRG is pretty well prepared. Just some light harassment here from MC.
All right, as you can see, the Phoenixes are now moving out. And the Void Ray is moving in. So we're going to see if we can just pick up some queens or something, do a little bit of damage here.
Well, MC, with his Robo out, looks like he wants to take another expansion. You know, Void Ray after fast expansion really lends itself to you taking another base. Yeah, you can get a little bit aggressive, but it costs a lot of money to get all these flying units, and you know, they're okay against ground units, but really what it does is it prevents roaches from getting too aggressive on you. The roaches walking across the map, a lot of them will get picked off by the Phoenixes and Void Rays. You know, they obviously can't hit air, so it becomes quite annoying. And MC going to that Robotech as well as Colossus Tech, a perfect choice. Yeah. It really complements his Stargate opening.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what's great about these Stargate openings is you're able to clean up all the overlords that were on the map, which means the Zerg has to depend on pushing creep in order to have vision of everything. So it's just one of the many things you can do when you go for your Sky Protoss opening. Now, we see DRG just massing up. Right around when DRG gets 100, like, well, he's at 130 supply now. That's when his supply starts to raise very, very quickly. Because that's the moment where he generally has the drones that he wants to have for the rest of the game.
That's right, Tasteless. Now, DRG, he's getting his bro movement. He's getting a lot of roaches, Tasteless. You know, his games look so similar. Picking off this queen, a nice move. You know, having all those Phoenixes is very useful in that way. You'll notice that the Void Ray has been staying a little bit closer to home, and that's just a safety precaution. If your Void Ray is way across the map and they attack with a bunch of roaches, then you actually have a very hard time holding that third. And that is something you never really want to see as a Protoss.
Yeah, yeah. Another thing you can do sometimes is park the Void Ray over the Xel'Naga Watchtower, just to make sure they don't send a Ling or anything like that there. Since, you know, when you wipe out all those overlords, they were positioned on the map for intel and scouting. You know, your Zerg's going to be pretty desperate to get, you know, some idea of what's going on the map. Zerg is a very reactive race. It's one of these races where you read your opponent a certain way and then you respond.
Well, we have a lot of roaches making their way across the map. He's just going for a bust here. All the sentries out of position. Wow, look at those force fields right there. The second Colossus popping out. A lot of damage being done, but he can't lose all those sentries going up towards the third, running away with that first pack. And does he have enough force fields to actually stop this from occurring? Losing a lot of sentries here. He's got to be careful, and it looks like he'll save at least 3 for now.
All right, now he's going with everything over here to the front. Now this could be bad news. He could end up getting sandwiched here. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to turn out.
But he does turn around and starts attacking towards those Colossi. They're going to have to run away and maybe up the hill as well.
Exactly.
MC realizing he'll lose him if he doesn't go up that hill, but he does, and very well done by him there.
All right. He did get a lot of good kills over here, and he takes the Nexus down. That's what I was wondering if it was going to happen. The Nexus is gone. I'm wondering, though, can the Protoss counterattack after this?
I would say, you know, it's a little bit risky because DRG has an insane economy and can definitely get a lot of roaches out if he wants. Of course, he's going Hive, Spire, and getting Infestors ready right now. 3 Colossi, it's scary, but how many sentries does he actually have? Not that many. He has 1 sentry, and out on open ground trying to counterattack across this map, if DRG put every single mineral into roaches, he would be able to surround that army and kill it off pretty easily.
All right, he's now getting the fleet beacon. So we're in like basically late game. I mean, the Protoss tech tree is basically finished. The Spire is almost done here for DRG. DRG moving out yet again. That note, DRG always able to refill or reload his supply very quickly. Well, MC is 132. DRG is at 161, and that number's going to probably max out here very quickly. Yeah, as you can see now, 171.
Well, coming out into the middle of the map, a lot of roaches out there right now, and they do have to turn around. He is counterattacking to that new 3rd base, targeting down a cannon, and now going for the Nexus. Not sure that he can actually kill that.
I don't think he can kill that.
Yeah. And he will, in fact,
I think he realized that, so he's going to go ahead and retreat now.
But look, the beauty of this is that he actually just drew MC's army back. MC doesn't get to choose where he goes because DRG is all over the place, just poking, prodding, doing everything. What? Whoa. He's actually getting range for his Phoenixes.
Yeah, I was a bit caught off guard by that.
He has Phoenixes. He's had them for a while, and he's building some more most likely because he's getting that. But this is actually really interesting because, I mean, Phoenixes don't do a lot of damage to Broodlords because they don't get their bonus damage, and Broodlords have high armor. Of course, Corruptors kill Phoenixes. And there's a lot of Corruptors popping out because he does have a lot of Colossi. So this is going to be interesting. I've not seen someone go for this at this stage of the game against someone going Hive Tech. Maybe he thinks he may think there's a Mutalist switch incoming.
Yeah,
because we see that a lot from DRG, but the timing of it is already gone. It's already passed.
Yeah, he's basically prepared for something that's not going to happen. So this could be really bad for MC.
Well, right now DRG making his spine crawler wall tasteless. He's taken that 4th base. MC just kind of chilling, trying to get more and more units. He's going to max out pretty soon here. And as he maxes out, he has to, at the minimum, go out and take a 4th base. At the maximum, try for some sort of push timing to get a win.
All right, now here's the moment where MC's probably going to be saying, why did I get all of those Phoenixes? All right, DRG closing in now. We have Infestors coming out, but Infestors are getting sniped. Beautiful.
Yeah, really well done. And the Corruptors coming in from the side, trying to target down any Colossi. And in fact, a lot of DRG's army being wasted there. Not the greatest engagement for DRG.
And they're
the Infestors did very poorly. The Corruptors were way off to the side, not able to help against the Phoenixes. That was a tough moment for DRG, and MC is going to capitalize.
Yeah, MC now going to move across the map, see how much damage you can do, but then turns around.
Well, it's that counterattack once again, tasteless. DRG is everywhere and buying himself huge amounts of time with moves like this.
All right, DRG bought a little bit more time, but that's not going to stop MC from turning right around and going back towards DRG's base. The pylon warp in and over here. He does not manage to deny it, so he can warp in right over in that location.
Well, here he goes, pushing forward towards his 4th base. The 4th base, we'll see if it can be defended. A lot of Corruptors coming once again. He's got to target down those Colossi first, but there's a lot of Immortals in the back. So these Roaches not going to be worth anything. And when the Colossi are gone, when the Phoenixes are gone, there's a lot of Corruptors that aren't any good.
Wow, a lot of Corruptors being hit pretty hard there. I don't know if DRG's going to be able to stop, you know, this landslide that's tearing him down here. This expansion most definitely is going to go down. We can only hope for DRG's sake that he's got defenses somewhere else, spine crawlers somewhere else on the map. We do not see them though. And wow, smart move though here. Notice the MC regrouping.
And
going to get some more Immortals.
Corruptors taking a lot of damage right now. He is continuing to make roaches, and that's not a good sign for DRG. You know, this game is really in MC's favor at this moment because of how many Immortals he has. But Immortals being caught off guard here. One of them already being picked off, another one almost as well. And DRG is just hemorrhaging roaches right now.
Yeah, absolutely. He regroups now moving towards the south. He's actually going to be on even bases pretty soon here. We do have a Roach counterattack going for that expansion, so it could be 2 base versus 3 base.
Oh, this is going to be hard for MC to actually stop. Well, he is actually getting another round of Stalkers in his main base. More Roaches coming up towards the front. Oh, I like that burrow. Really just drawing those Stalkers away so he can deal more damage at the third.
All right, he's trying to target down the Nexus. I'm not sure if he's going to get it in time. There's a good number of Roaches, but the Phoenixes are making it pretty difficult. The Roaches retreat, and the Nexus does not even lose, really, any hit points. So, really nice play. The shields will regen, so DRG's counterattack completely failed.
Well, you know, DRG sitting on 3 bases, MC sitting on 3 bases. Of course, DRG's done a lot of harassment to him, but he's lost a lot of units for it. Now he's trying to go Infestor Roach, which becomes pretty good against this, but again, those 4 Mortals, even against Infestors, are going to be great. They are just going to kick serious ass against them, against those Roaches.
Very nice. Look at how many Overlords are actually going to be shot down here. This could put him in
he's actually
supply block.
Red.
Yeah, he's supply blocked.
Big deal.
That may be the nail in the coffin, man. When you're supply blocked right now, you have this big of a Protoss army coming at you. Stalkers and Immortals and even a few Sentries in there.
And
nice
some Bungles going down, but a lot of lifts coming up. Nice moves there with the Phoenixes by MC. The Roaches will be cleaned up, and MC's army is just too strong. That is it. Wow, great opening couple games by MC there. Grubby, DJ Wheat, what do you guys think?
That was, I mean, just to start off, like, MC just looking really, really, really phenomenal right now. And DRG, we talked a little bit about it. We were actually comparing some DRG Stefano stuff during that, like the timings and some of the different things that they do. But, Grubby, I mean, what do you think from a Protoss perspective, you know, where did MC really go right there?
Where did he go right? Yeah, that's definitely the right way of saying it. Obviously, Dongraegu, he lost. We can talk about that later, exactly how he played and so on. But how many players would have come so undamaged, almost, I want to say, through that flurry of attacks, Roaches? I mean, there was one point where Dongraegu had 185 supply against MC's 115 or 120 supply or so. And he just used... there was that awkward moment where the Roaches, they streamed into the position of the natural, and you had those 2 Colossus behind the buildings.
Right.
But his sentries were on the wrong side.
Yeah.
He came in, he threw up this force field wall, which kind of kept the Roaches completely away from the natural, which also allowed his own sentries to pull back with a sizable chunk of the Roaches in hot pursuit, and then he cut them again at the third. It was just so beautifully done.
That whole exchange, that whole fight that happened there when we saw the initial push by DRG with his Roaches in, where, like you mentioned, it got split. I thought that for sure MC was in a lot of trouble there because then we had the Ling run by, but because he had moved his Colossus back, the Lings did virtually nothing inside the natural, where they could have killed so much. So I feel like that kind of, it was looking like it was going to go in DRG's favor because he was going to take out all those sentries and all the zealots, but it really, really didn't.
I'm curious about your guys' thoughts on this. I've noticed DRG has this tendency in some of the games I've casted where, like, right around when he's almost maxed, he suddenly bum rushes one of your Nexuses.
Yeah, so
he's like willing to sack the Roaches in order to make sure that your Nexus dies. But at least in the games that I've casted, every time he does that, it doesn't work.
That's actually a good observation, and I think there is a logic behind the madness. We look at basically every Zerg probably has his late game plan of going to Infestors, Broodlords. Now, every time where Dongraegu got to that Hive and Spire and Infestation Pit tech, he was sitting at 199 supply already. You could almost say his macro was too good. He made so many units that he was full. So he said, okay, I can't morph to Broodlords right now. I have to do something with my Lings and Roaches. Now, the risk of that, as DJ Wheat and I were discussing, is that when you do that, you open yourself up for a counterattack.
Right.
Because you throw away these units, you take it down to third, but what if the Protoss just attacks you back? What do you have at that moment? It takes some time to get those Broodlords out.
Yeah, I mean, and I know we're going to jump into the next game here real quick, but you guys had mentioned it too, and we were talking about it over here, is that there's no doubt that it appeared as if MC was absolutely expecting that Muta switch. And, you're almost thinking like that's really going to put him back. It's going to hurt him a little bit, but it virtually did nothing. I mean, the Phoenix range at the end of the day, I mean, it didn't hurt him, really. It was just some resources lost.
It was, the one cool thing is when you mess up with that, you can lift up infestors, and he did a lot of that.
Exactly. At first I thought, oh, that's too bad because all your Phoenixes are going to die to Corruptors.
Pretty rare when a mistake goes in your favor.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Then I saw him pick up the infestors, and I'm like, oh, all right, well.
I know a few Zergs at home that just said, well, that's what Protoss is. And the mistake goes in your favor. Well, the game is ready, guys. Game number 3 between DRG and MC. We're going to go ahead and get that started. Can DRG pick up a crucial point, or will MC start out 3-0? Tasus, your prediction?
3-0.
Really?
That's right.
Yeah?
That's right, I said it.
Oh, wow. Look
Tasus
at that. You
speaks
went
his
there.
mind.
I don't know. I feel
You think it's going to be 2-1?
DRG's going to take it. Watch.
I'm just a big MC fan. All right, the game's loaded.